What's up guys, Coach Joe here with another episode of Box Talk, and in this episode we're going to be talking conditioning, the two types of conditioning that I do, and I'm also going to give you a free workout for you guys to try in your training program. When it comes to conditioning, the two methods that I like to use in my training, the first one is going to be some sort of high intensity interval training, and then the second one is going to be aerobic based conditioning. And the difference between that is in high intensity interval, it's just going to be exactly what it sounds like. High intensity, so I like to do either something like a Tabata, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, or it could be an every minute style workout, or just in general, something that's going to jack my heart rate up pretty fast. I'm going to let it come down a little bit, and then I'm going to hit it again. Now in terms of the aerobic conditioning, I like to do treadmill, walks, or runs. And also do something like a rower or maybe a Stairmaster or maybe just some sled work where I'm pushing and pulling a sled. And the intensity for that is going to be pretty low. So it's going to be low intensity and something where you can hold a conversation with somebody, but you can't sing. So that's going to be kind of where you want your heart rate to be. If you can't sing because your heart rate's too high and you're out of breath, then we're in the wrong range for that. Where in high intensity interval training, you're going to most likely be able to not be able to catch your breath, right? You're going to need a little bit of rest. And this is important depending on your sport. So for strongman, and I think almost any person involved in any sport, you want to have some sort of aerobic base. And there's nothing wrong with just having some sort of conditioning, okay? It's going to be better for your health, and it's also going to help in your sport at some point. And that can just be done by, like I said, going on walks, jogs, rowing, whatever, hiking. That's going to help build that base. Now in terms of strongman, you're competing for less typically than 5 minutes per competition. So it's a lot of anaerobic exercise that's being done. And you want to be able to train and have your body built towards that sport. So for me, it's important that I do get that type of conditioning in. And depending on the competition that I have, I'll get more specific with the events or the conditioning that I'm doing based on that comp. For the sake of this video, I wanted to show you guys what I did the other week for my high intensity interval conditioning day. Now this is an example of an every minute on the minute workout, and I did this for 24 minutes, and I picked 4 movements to do on each of the minutes. So you're doing each one 6 times. Now for the first movement, I picked a sandbag over shoulder for 8 reps. The second movement, I did battle ropes for a non-negotiable 30 seconds, any variation. Third movement, I did a sled push down and back twice, about 100 feet, and then I did a 25-foot sandbag bear crawl where I pull it down and then I pull it back. And the way this works is you're gonna have 1 minute to do each movement and the reps you allotted, and the remainder of that minute is your rest time before you move on to the next movement. So this roughly started about 25 to 30 seconds of work for each movement, giving me a little bit of time to get my heart rate down and move to the next movement. When you guys are picking your reps, you wanna make sure that you don't kill yourself right out the gate and you have some time to rest, so that you can get through the rounds. It should progressively get harder though. So if you guys are staying really low times every single round, I would say you should either increase the reps or make the movement a little bit harder by playing with some different variables there. So your main focus when you're doing your conditioning is that you don't want it to mess up your strength gains. So typically I keep the weight pretty low, or if the weight is higher, the reps are gonna be lower, so that's not interfering with all my strength progress. So as you can see, the movements are pretty basic. I have a bag over shoulder, just working on triple extension, staying athletic. Battle ropes, just gonna get my heart rate going, get some sweat flowing. The sled push, weight's not too heavy, right? And then the sandbag and bear crawl is just an athletic movement I threw in there because to me, I wanna stay athletic. I wanna stay, in shape and still be able to move, and that's something that still keeps me in that realm of being an athlete. Now, there are tons of different variations you can do of this. You can increase the time if you wanted to. You can change the movements however you want. You could do, just 2 movements for 20 minutes and you're doing each one 10 times. Whatever, it's just endless possibilities. I also had made a whole conditioning video for Brian Alter on his channel, which I'll link above here. It gives you guys a whole template of different things and ideas to play around with your training, so I would highly advise you check that out. But like I said, this is my high intensity interval day, and I just want to give you guys a quick little snippet of what I did for that day. It always is changing and evolving, especially as you get closer to competition, but your main focus should be that you want to have that aerobic base somehow, as well as working on your conditioning in the 2 different variations, and then make sure that you're maintaining your strength throughout the whole process.